the paint on the canvas. We've got gravel right in here. I got to put in some gravel and do that. Roll in the brush to get the paint to look clumpy, to get it to look like rocks and gravel. Yeah. And if there's too much paint and it looks too pointy, the paint is pointing out too much, I'll just kind of roll my brush over the tip of that point to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll try some of this cadmium green and see what this looks like. Ooh, it's pretty. Very pretty. When I just open up a tube of paint, there's usually oil on the top of it, and I hate to lose that oil, so I try to put it on my brush like a roll of toothpaste or something. And then I've got my brush loaded up and I haven't lost that oil. If I try to wipe in there with my brush, then the oil sometimes spills over the side and becomes messy. And I don't like that. So, now see what we got here. See what we got. See what we got. Now see what we got here. Oh, yeah. Looks good. It's a beautiful color. Yep, I can use it. Ooh, I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah. Get some in there. Get a little in there. Cover up a little bit of that red. Cover up a little bit more of that red. Boy, I like this color. Cadmium green. It's just what my painting needed. Da, 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 da. Coming up here, oh, we're starting to get some leaves a turning. Leaves a turning up in here, up in here, up in here. Leaves a turning up in here. So this area with these posts, I'm gonna have to paint over because that isn't in the right area. So I got to paint that over. I might try to paint it now over with some white, just to so I can block it off. It won't be the right color, but I want to block off the shape where it should be because I have time and it's a good day for that. And I really want to get that resolved, the composition and where those posts go. I'd like to get that done today if possible. It won't be the right color, but then I'll paint over it later when it's dry and I can get the right color. I just want to get the positioning correct. Correct. Now I'm going with some lemon yellow hue and I'm going to mix it with the new color I just got, the cadmium green. It's a beautiful color. And then I'm going to add white to it too, to really get a nice light leaf color. But look at that. This tube is new too. It's got the oil on top, so I'm going to have to put it on like so. Oh, yeah. What? Beautiful. Now I haven't lost any of that oil from the top. Oh yeah. Then I'm going to have to mix it in my white. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Now I see these really light colors right up here where the sun's really hitting these leaves. But I also see them over there. So I'll work from one area to another area of the canvas. And I kind of try with every color I put on the canvas, I try to work the color all the way around the canvas so your eye will, it kind of draws your eye all over the canvas. And if the colors don't look right, I paint over them. I keep working them until I get them to the color that I want them to look like, that they actually look like in nature. And the other thing I'm always trying to do when I'm painting is I'm trying to fill in any low spots where the paint is on the canvas. If it's if there's not enough paint on the canvas, then I try to fill in those low spots and get them to deeper and thicker, so that makes a stronger painting and a stronger canvas and a more uniform painting. Ooh, there's some nice colors out here. Nice colors. Ooh. Don't worry too much about making mistakes, because that's, you just paint over it if you make a mistake. And yeah, it's just painting. It's having fun. Now I'm down to kind of whitey whites, so I'm going to have to add more yellow and more of that beautiful cadmium green. Oh yeah, that's a pretty color. Mixing it right in the tube. I just mix the colors right in the tube. And I don't fully mix them. I kind of partially mix them. And I pick up where I want more yellow, where I want it more green or more white, and I just pick those pieces out of the tube and I put them on the canvas. Cause that's where they belong. And I put some of these random colors all over the canvas, and now I'm covering them up somewhat. And so they're like the underpainting or the undercoating to the painting, and they'll bleed through eventually in time, and it'll make the painting more unique and more homogeneous and unified. It's kind of a process of adding more highlights and highlights and highlights. And then if you've added too many highlights, you got to add more shadows and shadows and shadows. So you just go back and forth until you find the right balance between the highlights and the shadows in the painting. There's some light areas up here in the canvas that don't have much paint on, so I'm making sure I add more paint to those areas. Oh, there's some real nice leaves up here that I need to add for the branches that come up above the horizon line. Usually when I go out painting, of course I have my easel, I've got my canvas, and then I'll have like a TV dinner tray that I like to keep my drink and my phone and my paints on, a little table there, TV dinner table for me to put stuff on. And then I have a cooler that I have most of my paints in. And then I have another cooler that has my drinks in. And then I have a smaller kind of little cooler that I have more paints in. And I have a chair that I can sit in. And now I have my GoPro camera and my tripod and something to hold the camera in place on the base of my tripod, because now I'm doing my channel, which I wasn't doing before. So you want to have an assortment of brushes. Mainly I use only one size brush, but I have a bunch of variety of different brushes that I can use, and I have them with me in my truck. And I've got some layers of clothing if I get too hot or too cool. Always got my hat. You got to have your hat. You can't really paint from life and wear sunglasses because you're not going to get the colors right. You're not going to be seeing the right colors. So you always have to have your hat to give you some shade so you can paint in the shade or the sun and still not hurt your eyes. Layers of clothing. I've got a sweatshirt if I need that. I've got different types of shoes I can wear. I got sandals or regular sneakers, or like a moccasin I can wear if I want. And you know, I have some snacks in my truck that I can snack on if I get hungry. But usually when I go out and paint, it's I usually plan on it being a whole day thing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and I'll try to paint until it gets dark, and until I can't, there's no more daylight left to paint. So I make a whole day trip of it every time I go out to paint, as long as I can, if I have the day free. That's kind of how I do that. Do that. I tell you, it's a very nice way to spend the day, having some fun painting. Mixing colors and putting them on the canvas. Yeah. Oh, some very nice colors here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because this is association, so they give you a little rack. Wow. This is gorgeous. Puppy, what make the noise? Oh man, I can get used to this. Safety and nothing but me. Looks like they're really maintaining.
All right, I'm trying out my new Naples yellow color here. No. Oh no. And it's a perfect color for this area of the painting right here. I'm seeing that color right there. Yeah. And I'm seeing it up in here as well. Little highlights over here. Cover up a little of that red there. Might have to go over some